It's now time for Trivia Tracks with yours truly, Price Robertson. Brought to you by Beth Smith and Edward Jones and ProMed Ambulance Services. 30 years ago today, a cultural phenomenon began with the discovery of not one, but two murdered bodies. Former NFL player turned actor O.J. Simpson was accused in the double murders of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her acquaintance, Ronald Goldman. Within days, Simpson, along with friend and former teammate Al Cowlings, were involved in a high-speed chase with police via Simpson's white Ford Bronco. TV stations around the country interrupted coverage of the 1994 NBA Finals to broadcast live coverage of the pursuit, which was watched by around 95 million people. The pursuit and Simpson's arrest were among the most widely publicized events in history. A little over a year later, on January 24, 1995, Simpson's murder trial began. Simpson was represented by a high-profile defense team, referred to as the Dream Team, initially led by Robert Shapiro and subsequently directed by Johnny Cochran. The team included F. Lee Bailey, Alan Dershowitz, Robert Kardashian, Sean Hawley, Carl E. Douglas, and Gerald Ullman. While Deputy District Attorneys Marcia Clark, William Hodgman, and Christopher Darden believed they had a strong case, the defense team persuaded the jury there with reasonable doubt concerning the DNA evidence. They contended the blood sample had been mishandled by lab scientists and that the case had been tainted by LAPD misconduct related to racism and incompetence. The use of DNA evidence in trials was relatively new, and many followers did not understand how to evaluate it. The trial was considered significant for the white division in reaction to the verdict. Observers' opinions of the verdict were largely related to their ethnicity. The media dubbed this the racial gap. A poll of Los Angeles County residents showed most African Americans thought the not guilty verdict was justified, while most whites thought it was a racially motivated jury nullification by the mostly African American jury. However, some people expressed the belief that Simpson was guilty. In 2017, 3 jurors who acquitted Simpson said they would still vote to acquit, while one said he would convict. The murders and trial, the biggest story I have ever seen, said a producer of NBC's Today, received extensive media coverage from the very beginning. At least one instant book was proposed 2 hours after the murders and scheduled to publish only a few weeks later. The case was a seminal event in the history of reality television, helping to revive the genre of court shows like Judge Judy. The Los Angeles Times covered the case on its front page for more than 300 days after the murders. The network evening news broadcasts gave more airtime to the case than to the Bosnian War and the Oklahoma City bombing combined. They served an enthusiastic audience. One company put the loss of national productivity from employees following the case instead of working at $40 billion. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno aired many skits on the trial, and the Dancing Itos, a troupe of dancers dressed as Judge Lance Ito, was a popular recurring segment. According to media critic Howard Kurtz, the acquittal was the most dramatic courtroom verdict in the history of Western civilization. Other participants in the case, including limo driver Alan Park and one-time actor Kato Kalin, received much media coverage themselves. O.J. Simpson's mugshot made the front covers of Time and Newsweek. Time's cover image, which was darkened, led to controversy. 1 week after the trial began, Fox aired a made-for-TV movie, The O.J. Simpson Story, depicting Simpson and his ex-wife's relationship up to his arrest for the murders. After the trial ended in October 1995, Fred Goldman, Ron's father, filed a civil suit against Simpson. In 1997, the jury unanimously found O.J. Simpson responsible for the deaths of Goldman and Brown. The Goldman family was awarded damages totaling $34 million, $64 million in today's dollars, but as of 2024 have received a small portion of that. After Simpson's death last April, John Dutton, a key witness who had refused to testify at the trial, broke his silence and said that Simpson was indeed at the scene when the murders occurred and hired 4 members of the Gambino crime family to kill Nicole and Goldman. Dutton said he'd remain silent until Simpson's death because of threats he'd received. Among other cultural depictions of the O.J. trial, FX aired an episode of its American Crime Story series on the trial in 2016 with Cuba Gooding Jr. as Simpson. The upcoming film The Juice, which is scheduled for release next year, will explore conspiracy theories purporting to exonerate O.J. Simpson of the murders.
Till next time, I'm Price Robertson. Amazed by today's trivia? Then join me for Trivia Tracks weekdays at 6:45 on Everybody's Country Y95.